Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Croatia, in which as our soldiers are returning home, and before I started recording, I finally had the time to, well, decide to rename those armies. As you can see, order. First army, Cossack army. Second, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, second and third army. I don't know how I missed that, but I clearly saw it as I was looking down. And there's first fleet, second fleet, third fleet, but that's due to, well, sending those other ships to carry out their missions, to carry out their orders and whatnot. And so there you have it. So what's on the agenda this episode? Well, we are fresh off a victory and we made one minor gain, and that's Croatia, which is again, that's due to the war that the Knights started, which is still a beylik, which rightfully it should be a sultanate, an Anatolian sultanate, now that they were bordered with the good Turks. Religious ideas, holy war. Well, as long as we're friends, so try not to, think too much about what you're gonna get yourself into. And that's what this country needs. Holy warriors. Oh, technically, Akunulu is the holy warriors, as they are a monastic order. Don't you follow religious ideas too? Oh, they are, and they're about to have holy war cast a spell against anyone that they damn well see. And you do elections too? Monastic order. Right. So as they're on their way, and yes, I'm well aware that I can complete this, but it says gain 30 prestige, which I'll use that whenever I'm running low on prestige for whatever reason. I mean, the separatism thing, well, it's not necessary because we already have this. And soon, I will make Turkish an accepted culture. Not because we're friends with them, it's because Zarigrad here. Look what it'll give us. If they were to become an accepted culture, we'll get more tax modifier though. Missionary strength, manpower, sailors. All that good. But, still. We have 75% trade power Constantinople since, well, the Karamanese have took, these two areas from the centers of trade of the Ottomans, which are basically a rump state at this point. While we're trying to increase the trade power to Ragusa a little more. Well, we do have some degree of trade power here, but the trade value in here is just crud. It can be improved upon if it's invested well and developed, especially that I would love to develop as this is a home of the Donnerstadt, which adds a little more trade power, but the trade value here, as I said, crud. Not getting the respect it's deserved, and it's a little wonder why. If we were to send a merchant, we would get little income out of that. But if we were to send merchants in areas like Alexandria and Aleppo, we would have a little more. But fortunately, this is where the trade ideas come in. We're saving up our diplomatic power to get a little more local trade power. Not just local, but global. Global trade. Which I've learned at the fact that if you are an expanding empire, if you want to get your country bigger and bigger, and you got all these trade nodes that you can't send your merchants all over to collect trade or transfer trade value, power, whatever, this is what this is for. And if you can complete all that, another merchant. And with the trade idea, and if you choose the policy to have, like With defensive, another merchant. But I do really like the humanist ideas with reduction of idea cost even more, so we can get this easier. And the last two ideas down the line, whatever it may be. Because basically, if I were to pick an idea in the future, it's basically anything. Just anything at this point. Unless you're going to be real trade intensive and go for expansion, even though we can't really colonize anywhere. Except maybe Africa, if you were to go down there. Relations. More global trade power. Okay, so expansion is a maybe. But offensive sounds a lot better, because discipline. Then again, you want more global trade power just to enrich your country more. It's just an idea. Or administrative, since you have a habit of expanding. So this is how much money we're making. And mercantilism, even though I only increase very little, not by promoting it, but using this as we gain 4.88 papal influence each month. And some of that is due to the cardinals around here. So rather than try to become the courier controller, as Two Sicilies is one, just go for mercantilism more. Now it's up to 16, and that's for provincial trade power modifier. Like, look at here, for example. For mercantilism, every little bit helps. Especially in the Ragusa trade node. And of course, we'll be making all that great income again once everybody's go home. And our troops fully reinforced, and then we start making a great amount of income once again. And subsequently coring Carbadia, which would just help a little bit more of that trade power abroad. And so that way, we can return back to normalcy. And it's a big if, a big maybe if I were to choose that, just to develop the steppe provinces, as of namely. As I would have told them to encourage it. Alright, so let's get down to business. I've sent the light ships to protect trade nodes, see how much trade power it's going to lead. 67%. Very good, very impressive effort. And a small part of that we give thanks to is the from mercantilism. In fact, from now on, each time you gain that papal influence, keep sanctioning commercial monopoly. Get mercantilism up, up, up. Just keep going up. Slowly, bit by bit. It just pretty much tells you how nuts I am with this trade. Oh, and also just before I started recording, I also upgraded all the galleys to these standards. Firm. Alright, to be fair, all that trade power went that way. But we'll be sure that in future, around the 1670s, maybe late 1670s, you have stock exchange for even more local trade power. So let's start making all that fortune again. We already did that, but we'll ask again in 2 years if they have the money by then. Because I'll be willing to invest in cathedrals. Lots of them. This is just to help with the taxation. Isn't there upgraded versions of workshops? Let me see. No, we're not quite there yet. Yeah, still far away from it. Here's an idea. Ahead of time on the military as well. So I'll just take this one. This is for ship durability, so our ships can last long in a fight. Oh yeah. This would help with the naval attrition, which will make us more likely to intervene in other conflicts while we take less attrition. But, look at this. Escadra de Atlantic. They have way more heavy ships than we do. So I thought about investing more on heavy ships. Hey, get off of there. Start drilling. All of you. Also, in case you didn't see the last episode, look, new uniforms. Yep, that's what the Croatian uniform looks like, even though Bosnia uses that same unit sprite. Which, by the looks of it, they look, you know, Turkish influenced. And you can even tell by the design of the musket that these are these Turkish-made, you know, muskets, obviously. And that's a good reason why Turkish influence. Well, we live next to them. Basically, for nearly all this playthrough, we live next to Turks. And now, soon, the Turkish will be an accepted culture. Whether they like it or not. When I say they, I mean all over the other minorities. Those outside of the South Slavic Culture Union. And yes, we're building yet another manufactory, a trade station in Azov. You know, that's where the slaves trade good is there. We can mothball it now, just to get a little more income. Almost ready. Alright. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hunt pirates within Ragusa trade node. The other. Constantinople. Now here's our first trade idea, the global trade power, just for starters. Don't know how much effect it'll have on this, but this will do. For shrewd commerce practice. Let's see how much an effect it'll have. If it's not enough, then, well, guess we'll just have to wait for stock exchanges. Still not enough, but stock exchanges will definitely do in the next decade. Of course you do. Manto has become your favorite punching bag, huh? Oh, you'll be there. Distant war in depth, yeah. Definitely not your war. But everybody will most definitely join. But I'd say no, give us time. We're trying to drill all these armies again. Especially drill the Cossack army for the first time. Yeah, everybody will start drilling just to try to get it up to all the way to 100% in the future, which would have army drill game modifier even faster and less cost to get more generals. At least everybody's young. And we don't know how long Mutimir Lachkovich got. He's the longest reigning ruler we've had. Because we keep re-electing him. Because he's righteous. So I would say from now on, just save your diplomatic power to get these stock exchanges. And you've got till February. So you send me that money and I will start investing in light ships. Excuse me, heavy ships, I should say. But, you know, these take a couple of years to make, so might as well. Because we wanted to get it up to the same level as the French in the naval arms race. Because we view the French as the enemy. Would it be wise to antagonize the Spanish? They don't like the English, but they're allied with the French. You're allied with Genoa, which I could tell Genoa to break the alliance with Spain whenever that time has come, for whatever reason. Who knows? I know they're allied with the French. And we don't like anybody that associates with France these days. And I feel bad for England. If they ever get attacked again, Croatia will step in. And will intervene. So we have to start, you know, adapting to this sort of nature of warfare. So any area that has shipyards, this is where these heavy ships, these war galleons, will be built. And these take years to make, so might as well get started. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna make a dozen. 11. 12. Yeah, we're not kidding around anymore. We're bringing in the big guns. We want to have naval superiority. We already have a good number of galleys, but we want more ships. And yes, that goes over the force limit slightly, but it'll do. So this last ship won't be finished. Let's see, could. So the last ship won't be finished until November of next year. So we gotta start paying attention of how it's gonna be drastically dropped with the amount of income we make. Don't we have somebody cheaper but skilled? No. Of course. My goodness, where did you get all that manpower? I know you went for quantity ideas, which in fact you completed it, so therefore you have a lot more. And we know you're an ever-growing country. Glad we have you on our side. Why do I even bother? Come here. They're not allied with Austria anymore. Just, you know what? Let's improve relations to the English. As I said, I feel bad for these guys because of France, of what they've been doing. May never know that we'll have an alliance with the English, even though we have no room for diplomatic relations. We just want to say it's a little bit of a friendship between us, so to speak. You better have the money by then, because it's about to come up and I'm about to invest in upgrading a bunch of buildings. The army's good enough and we're building a navy. Justify my war. Our enemies have always grumbled about our demands, not quite believe they are truly justified. With our new effective diplomatic corps whose administrative ability we deeply believe we should be able to justify our wars and demands. For you, to justify my... That's for next 10 years. Yeah, I could see that. Gimme! Okay. It's these cathedrals, they add a little bit of it, but it helps with some of these buildings. Anything cheaper. Even if they contribute very little to the tax income, but every little bit helps. Yeah, almost all. So in a year's time, especially as we would be completing with our navy, hopefully it'll be good enough. And of course, with the cathedral to be built here, we will have much more missionary strength, enough to convert the Sunnis around here. So, I mean, when we have the Turkish and to become a Catholic area, oh, think of the local tax modifier and the goods produced it'll do for us. Just all the bordering areas, in case we do wish to go up there. Let's see what the world looks like. It's been a while since we took a look at it. Portuguese High Plains. Portuguese California. Who owns French Alaska? I was about to say, who owns Alaska? Norway is still around, and they still got a port, which is a miracle. Well, what about Australia? Well, it's a mostly Spanish Australia now. And they are attacking against Australia. The French are there too. England has Formosa. Taiwan. English Taiwan. How about that? But no French in India? Spanish for that matter? Actually, there is. Diego Garcia? Hold on. Christmas Island. Indian Ocean Islands. Oh, I see. But the Maldives still belongs to Vijayanagar. So they didn't bother touching the African coast, except for this one. Ah, you crazy colonials. Crazy colonials. Alright, the first ships are finished. More are to be built. Assemble. I'll look at the final cost soon. One more, and you got a dozen. Alright, off you go. In order to keep a sizable professional army efficient, a sufficient number of trained officers are required to carry out orders and the will of the council. However, the increased demand on quality leadership is not matched by the number of officers in all roles. With the increased demands on quality, new officers will also take longer to train and are harder to recruit. Oh, I'll take it. We shall overcome this in time. There'll be a shortage of officers. It hurts the army tradition, which is a... but reinforced speed will be reduced. But hopefully we don't get involved in too many big wars in the next couple of years. Ceremony disrupted. One of the core parts of the Republic are these great ceremonies of state. This is a time where disagreements and disputes between the patricians are put on hold so we can display our unity of purpose and show the world our strength. At a recent ceremony, disgruntled elements turned their backs on our traditions to air their disagreements to the ruling council. Far from ideal. So there you go, a dozen heavy ships. Hurts the income a little, but hopefully it'll be with these cathedrals here, just add a little more tax income. Especially in Zarigrad, that we'll be getting a conversion here. You know, some of these areas where you build these manufactories, like say, oh, where did you build some of these? Like say here, but provinces are Orthodox. Somewhere that you did. Like one here. But the area is Sunni. The goods produced modifier doesn't help it that much because of the intolerance. Oh, we may change that. Guess it'll have to be Spain. As we're trying to establish, you know, our own naval superiority with building these heavy ships, and while we keep the galleys, because this is still an inland sea. This is coast, so this will not do. Scandinavia. Denmark has become Scandinavia. How do you like that? If you fight against the Spanish for whatever reason, you are in for a world of hurt. Well, I can tell these two countries to break up with Spain. And fighting against the Franco-Spanish alliance and their colonies. As I said, for whatever reason. But who knows? Thank you. Now come back. Alright, let's see it. Small improvement on taxation, but since you got this great production, don't you think you should invest in building more workshops? Because there are some places that, you know, do desire it. Unless you want to build more manufactories, then knock yourself out. Which it all depends on the improvement value. So look up here. What else? Yes, we can convert Zarigrad. So we don't tolerate them too much, so we might as well get rid of them. And again, you said you did want more papal influence to spend it on mercantilism. just to help with the trade power, bit by bit. There, it is finished. That means you gotta sign another seat, but keep in mind, assigning a parliament seat reduces the absolutism, so you probably let it do it naturally. Let him have its seat somewhere. Oh no, he was one of our best ones. He was our siege guy. Here we go. 4 fire, 3 shock, 5 maneuver, but no siege, so a fighting man. As you were. It would make it a little bit faster if we accept the Turkish as a culture here, but instead I'm saving the diplomatic power. Again, stock exchanges, more local trade power. We'll have the max trade power and we will finally complete this mission here. And this adds a little more local trade power for a home trade node, so I could start scattering those light ships into other places to add more trade power, be it in Alexandria or Aleppo or even there. But even though that trade value in node isn't good, as well as Venice. Don't forget about Venice. Which again, they're still under the control because, you know, they're the best ones, obviously. Or alternatively, go for privateering. Or better yet, privateer whatever trade node do the Spanish have. Which is our way of antagonizing them a little bit. Get them to dislike us and whatnot. So they'll show the world what happens when they mess with us. But I'll do it when it's reached its goal. You know what, let me improve relations with everybody. Just to tell everybody we're gonna get along just fine. And I totally forgot about you guys too. Let's all be nice here. Let's all be civil. Save it. Much as I would like to have another merchant. But a new cannon and cavalry type would do a lot of good. Should save out the military as well. Another thing I just thought of, what else I should invest my money on. Upgrading some of the forts. Particularly in key areas, terrain-wise. Don't even know why I have that there. Because it's not really developed and all that. And plus, we don't know how long he's going to be around. But you know what? If we try to re-elect him, we're gonna have another big drop on Republican tradition. Which, honestly, I don't think there's any more need for that. So as much as we'd like to have all 6, but he's not gonna contribute much in the next few years. And what you got is already good enough, so... As much as I like him, but I believe it's time to put him in the pasture. We'll go for a diplomat candidate this time, as we're more focused on diplomatic power these days. "45 years old. When the next election comes, then we'll elect another diplomat candidate in the future." So yes, he has stopped drilling. Just give me one more general. Or just temporary appointment. Because, you know, someone's got to drill the army here. Highly doubt he'll get involved in any battle. Naive enthusiast. That hurts the improved relations. Just my luck. So yeah, definitely a one-term guy. Definitely one term. Look at the taxation and production differences. How we get our income from. That's almost neck and neck. It's almost like we do a lot better on production than with, you know, taxation. I mean, this is for all of this, but the production, that's due to largely being ahead of time, pro-industrialization, and all that. Yeah. Sorry, my head is slightly hurt because I had a bit of a sleeping thing going on. Simply for the sake of it. There you go. There's room. Will the manufacturer do? As much as I would like to build more of it, but obviously I need more good income. But we're currently converting a few provinces here and there. And some cultures are not accepted. Just to screw both of you over. No. Because I simply just do not like you. Sure. Is that so? Trade dispute with French Canada? New seat in Parliament. That's great. Does anybody know the expiration date of this thing? Taking an awful long time. Keep going. Actually, there's another thing you should invest in. Any barracks that we have that should be, you know, upgraded to training fields. Unless we already did that for most of them. Like say in areas around Bosnia and Herzegovina. So yeah, there's already training fields there. That's why we have so much manpower these days. And you could build more shipyards all along the coast if you're concerned about naval force limit. Don't even think about it. Because you know they're guaranteed by Russia. And if we go up against them, well, there's going to be... What's... Scandinavia. They want St. Petersburg. And they already occupied it. Well, I'll be damned. A brilliant Commonwealth inventor from the Commonwealth has come to seek our patronage after the falling out of the Empire. Bronislaw Masalski is described by some as one of the great minds of the age, producing many mechanical and chemical inventions beyond the understanding of most others. How much is gonna... What? And we've been improving relations with the Commonwealth. They're gonna hate us for this, but do not worry. We're still gonna be friends no matter what. I bring them in. Just this once. Okay? Don't worry about it. At war with Austria. Heck, I'd go to war for it too, but you'll be fighting against the HRE. And Russia too. They finally took Mantua. They actually took it. The bastards. Boy, sometimes I wish the HRE Emperor was somebody else. Like, say, Bohemia or Brandenburg. Brandenburg would be very beneficial, as they're with the Commonwealth mainly. Yeah. I could see that. Permanent navies. Permanent navies have gone from being exceptional cases to becoming the norm. Institutions devoted to controlling these new navies are beginning to take much more active part in procurement of supplies and construction, rationing out keep their ships. This is from the Papal States. But our the price of naval supplies, glass and livestock will go way up. That helps. As we do have some degree of naval supplies and glass too. Zada, Kota. Yeah, but the real question, do you even have manufactories there? No, you don't. You should. And that's for naval force limit. Of the local goods produced. We'll build them here. Think of the income it'll give you. Every little bit helps. See you in 4 years. 5 years. That's one. Yeah, Spain now views Croatia as an enemy. Don't forget about them. Whoa there. Austria will not be there. Could be our opportunity. Even though it would be slow to get everything. But keep in mind, even if Austria and the HRE won't be there, but the Trade League of Venice, including our most hated rivals of Two Sicilies, and Savoy, which used to be a good friend of ours. As I said, this is not your war, but Verona. And I cannot fabricate another claim because they got espionage ideas. They could detect that easily. So you better be quick. Go pick them up. Get them mobilized. We'll be right behind you. Don't wait till it's too late. Because Austria's in the ropes. And it's possible we may lose those areas. That's supposed to be claims that we have here in particular. Because I had a bit of an interest in that line, but now may get away with that. Again, not enough trade power. We'll worry about that later. Get back here. Now. Hey! Over here. Get on board. Still on their way. Yeah, they're swarming all over it. Don't have much time. Ready for battle. Definitely not anymore. But it's still possible they could be called in the war and it could complicate things further. Yes, you may be fighting another war, but we definitely must trust you. Verona's our main objective, but we can't really axe them all because the whole world will be mad at us. But if I wanted at least 2 provinces, it would be this one and that one. Just make sure they do not have access to the coast anymore. Then as for Two Sicilies, well, I don't know what I gotta do with you. Since when are you a republic? Is republicanism starting to pick up in popularity? It appears so, because I thought, we were the only ones here, but no. It's starting to catch on, at least in Italy, as far as republicanism is concerned. Okay, on board. So we're ready for the war to start. Actually, move to position a little further. Lock, go. Stop. Because Austria would be out of the war by then if we attempt to make a move. Wouldn't engage them if I were you. They know what we are up to. Boy, we got a lot of people to take out, and that's why we have to bring everybody. It's a massive conflict that we'll get involved to. Of course, your first place should take us this one, but they got a star fort. Star fort. Verona has no fort, but it's got no fort either. But you're in for quite a. Yeah. A little more mercantilism. But is there such thing as too much mercantilism? Not very much. But as for this one, again, every little bit helps. And once again, these war galleons will, after this war, will be turned into two-deckers, which we should save up our money for that. Don't concern yourself with transports of what they look like or what configuration it is. We never ever get them involved in any way, shape or form in combat, unless there's an isolated transport out there. I'd love for the new cannon and cavalry types, which in fact, based on that cavalry, it looks like it's been a long time. So no doubt during the course of the war, like, we'll get this. But you better start saving up that diplomatic power, knowing you're going to take a big chunk of land, and you should have enough administrative power. Though you're gaining it slowly, you should have enough to core what you want, which, again, we'll take minor gains. Want this, and this. And probably simply for the sake of it, probably bring Mantua back. May never know. Or whom else you give it to. We'll see how everything works here. Remember, main objective, Verona, which they're constructing a conscription center, which is an upgraded version of a regimental camp, which I never really bothered with those because we don't typically build an army this big, at least. Not yet, at least. Plus, look at the trade power in Verona. Not only it's a world trade center to them, of course, but, well, most of that came from mercantilism, which is very high for them. And they got a trade depot, protect trade, trade power efficiency, development. Yeah, that's due to all that, but whereas in Ferrara, obviously mercantilism, trade depot, coastal. Static. Yeah. Plus it's got a star fort, so we have to distribute our troops even. And whomever is a member of the Venetian Trade League, that they're going to be coming from up there, of additional forces. Well, when you look at it this way, of who's deployed, those members of Trade League aren't much, but combined, they could be formidable. But of course, our old enemy Two Sicilies will be there. And Savoy is not something to be trifled with. That's the reason why Genoa and Tuscany will play that role also, as they're all present there. So forget about avenging the insult from the Great Horde. There's no need for that. Oh, and don't forget the Knights will be there too. So it's a huge war that will be bringing everybody on board. Let's start. Who knows a lot about sieges? You take the place. Signing you to that. You'll be heading to Verona. You'll be going straight to Verona. You'll be heading to Treviso to cover them. Don't engage the army yet. That's our priority here. Of course. Some of you may be thinking, what have we got ourselves into? But at least Austria and the HR will not be there because they're in that separate conflict that they can't help out their fellow member of the HRE in. Are they really thinking about doing that? Are they really? Well, who's going to Padova? Turn it down. Well, actually, you're all going to Verona. Oh, actually, we're going to be the ones to engage that one. Okay. Had me worried there for a second on who's who. Now keep in mind, this is probably our first encounter with a star fort before, which is going to take a lot longer to get to work on this siege, but we already have a well, we're about to gauge a few ships now. So we already have this area blockade, and we'll destroy their navy soon after. Everybody must play a role here, including you lot. And even the Caramanese joined. Only Acunilu couldn't be there. But at least the Commonwealth already nearby. Took them all out with ease. And that means pirates roam free again. Again, my only interest is these two areas here. And there's the capital fort up there. We'll all advance up there soon. In fact, you go up already. Move up. We have the objective. Now hold on to it. Cossack aggression. Moving quickly by boat or on horseback, the Cossacks of the steppes are very adept raiders. Several such raids have lately laid waste to the western countryside, and even major cities, some way from our borders. As the Cossacks responsible based out of borders, the Russian have now demanded both compensation for the culprits to be brought to justice. Yes, you are our enemy. I'll just say, the matter is beyond our control. Sorry. Bring them together. This area's a star fort too. Whoa there. Move up. I did not notice Savoy's here. We don't not have the high ground. Quickly. Damn it. We lost everyone. We were caught off guard. That was the second army that was lost. Definitely caught off guard. I did not see that coming. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, we have to start over again. We were routed. You all went that way. It's just horrified. That army got massacred. Save the debate. Quartering of troops. 44%. 5 out of 17. Yeah. Same. Little more influence from them is good for us. And I'll take that. And a corruption hit. And I'm sure we'll get money slowly, bit by bit. So just bribe the MP. We'll hear it from them again. There. Took their capital, but it ain't over yet. And that Starport's having a hard time, even with the blockade. Alright, so new ship types, Navy morale up, but Navy maintenance will go up. Naval attrition is no longer increased by staying out at sea each month. And combat whiff as well. Very good. Now you can build a stock exchange, but... should we breach him just to give him a head start? Polly! Every little bit helps. Want this done sooner or later. While we will be creating a new army. After we took a horrific loss. Staying out of it. But unfortunately it's back to Hungarian control, which is still under a personal union with the Commonwealth. So you can forget about that land. Yeah, we were ill prepared. That's what happened here. So we're throwing all of our everybody's here. Okay. That's what's going to consist of. Remain in position and hopefully no one's going to attack you. Quite honestly, that angered me. Savoy again. This is why we gotta stick together. My goodness! What have we got ourselves into? Anyways, absenteeism. Given its great influence over the politics of our country, it would be easy to assume that all MPs attended parliamentary sessions with great enthusiasm. eager to do most with the power they've been trusted with. This is, however, far from the case. In any given subordinate, that there will be some that will never show up, either because they're still enjoying their estates in the countryside or because they decide to partake in the many joys of the capital. Our problem has grown more and more lately that we fear foreign dignitaries are laughing at us behind our backs. There are a number of measures that might be taken to increase the attendance, but none that the current MPs would be taken very kindly to. Find the worst successes. Slowly but surely. It's not worth you losing your lives over. Took Verona. Now we're about to take out their navy. We could go out and avenge them, but it's extremely dangerous as everybody's going to be there. But our Commonwealth allies will. We took them all out. You did your part. Now help out here. As more and more friendly reinforcements will be on the way, so do not dismay. Move with caution. Perhaps we should take this area too. Remember, Verona is the objective. Come on, at least one of you begin the siege. Stay close. It would be wise, after we deal with occupying all of Venice, we got to take Savoy out. They're the most dangerous ones. Two Sicilies isn't as much. Just, that's coming from the Croatian experience. I don't know about the rest of them. You want out? What do you want? Good start. I mean, they're about to occupy you anyhow. Maybe that's the reason. But just a moment. Too many armies running around here. And they're about to get into big battle with the Savoyards. What are they like? Offensive ideas. They are well known for their fort defense. They're more of a defensive lot. But it's got offensive ideas. Go on, help them out. Hell. Talking about them up there. They had to withdraw out of there. Walls already breached. Let's just don't file in there. As we said, gotta knock Savoy out of the war. They're the most dangerous ones. Their capital isn't far from here. Their war enthusiasm is low, but that's kind of early, isn't it? Sending more bodies over. Greek separatism. With the Byzantine Empire reduced to a distant memory, most Greeks have come to lead their lives under foreign rulers. Some have left their old home region altogether as merchants or to serve in the various courts of Europe, while most remain in Greece, leading lives in the countryside similar to the before the fall of the empire. Others even thrive under their new rulers. The independent Greek identity has, however, remained strong, and in time will make itself even more known among the unruly mountain cubs or by the patriot dreams of intellectuals of foreign lands. With the restoration, while restoration of the Byzantine Empire remains an unattainable dream, many have come to earn the free rule of foreign tax collectors and hope for a new Greek state centered on the ancient homeland of their people. Now Greece has a core and means a bit of unrest or wherever is strongest. So if you wish, and that's during peacetime, you can have Greece as a separate country, as a vassal, obviously. Worry about that later. More cultural unrest. Let's give them a little more local autonomy. My goodness. You know, I'm the one that started this, right? Could never get used to seeing that many men die like that. But Mantua must fall, and then we'll start going after other areas. Alright, it's occupied. You can get out of here, if you can. It would be interesting just to have an annexation of Malta, which we use that as a island base towards, you know, Africa. Thought about having that. I mean, that would be an interesting idea because we always had issues with this pirate threat. But of course, the only issue with that is, well, it's not connected to Croatia anywhere by these sea zones. But let's see what happens. Otherwise, it'll be just like that Sind situation with the Mughals. So let's give that a try. If we can't core it, well then, we'll release it as a subject after the war. Ooh, actually you can core it. Well then. Now we have an island base, basically. Which now we have links to Africa. But he could assign this to a trade company, although it'll give less tax and manpower but increase its value for trade if you really care about the Genoa trade power, which we do not have a presence there. Part of the Ligurian Charter, which again, it's little. And you know, that trade flows that way, it doesn't go to Ragusa. Well, actually, it does. Should we core it then? Again, stupid idea. I mean, you may have to core it, but not gonna make it to a state. Not too bad. Manpower increase. Alright, core it. At least it doesn't cost much. Okay, the Knights are out, but we need to get Savoy out. We gotta take their fort easily. In fact, take all the mountain forts. That's where the heart of it is. Because you know they're gonna take the war to them. Esprit de corps. The strain of the military lifestyle puts the men who serve under good circumstances, lead the development of spirit, belonging, and cooperation at great extremes of the armed forces. During the recent conflict with Nuremberg, we've seen clear signs our troops are working together better, and that they form strong bonds of loyalty and duty to the Croatian Council that would seem to have hard to imagine just a few years ago. This is what separates the Croatian troops from all others. Still around. Alright, good. Move up. Got a task for you. Even though you got no siege skill, but just try to occupy the rest of the countryside, which I believe the Mamluks are already doing that. Just go ahead. Get a move on. Even though it's an undrilled army. Alright, this place is fallen. Take this Savoy, our capital, as quickly as possible. We gotta occupy all these territories and knock these guys out of the war. You got it. Got them while they're on low morale from the Caramanese I see up there. 100 administrative power. To core more lands, obviously. Alright, everybody's here. That's how much we are exactly? 92,000 strong. What are you doing? Finish them off. You got them on the... Oh wait, there's a hill fort there. We're not breaching any more walls nor getting new generals, but this is Cartridge. Conscription centers. New cavalry type. And new cannons, which, again, ongoing conflict, so we can't really get the new ones yet. Parallel authority. The burghers are not the sole authority within their cities. The clergy also have a strong presence in most big cities, going back to their initial founding. Conflicts sometimes seem to arise when councils of burghers implement rules that the clergy disapprove of. Such conflicts are becoming more and more commonplace as members of the clergy are openly acting in defiance of various rules that burghers agreed upon in their cities. Delegates from various cities dominated by burghers are now urging us to clarify the situation. They'll be disloyal. But they'll be no spot. We'll side with the clergy for once. We gotta balance it here. course. We took their capital. Civil War enthusiasm is low. Alright. Just as they were making a grand offensive, and their manpower has nearly exhausted themselves, and we'll finally turn our attention to Two Sicilies. Thinking. Savoy. What do you want? Savoy will cede Naza to Tuscany. Really? You're gonna give them that territory? Piedmont will be pillaged by Croatia. Piedmont. Oh, that's pretty well developed, actually. Zagreb could use some. It helps with the local trade power, you know. I'll pillage that for once. And war reparations, of course, and all treaties with France. Get some money out of it. You got it. Yeah, well, I would go for pillaging because, again, Savoy is responsible for destroying our army. They deserve that. Now, on to the offensive. I'll be right behind you. Not too concerned about the northern frontier. Even if they go the long way around. But it's possible I may send one army to get in transports to do a land invasion to get these parts. To dislodge them. In fact, we just might. While we got them at bay. Good God, man. Do you want me to pillage more of you? Who's that? Minute. Where are you from, by the way? Oh, there you are. You're about to be besieged. That's Constance, you fool. But they are involved in this anyhow. That's me. Fine and developed area, but is pillaging really the answer? Because saving that aggressive expansion. I mean, we don't need more development in this area. It's already well developed enough. But hey, every little bit helps with the trade power, but I have better ideas regarding the fate of other countries relevant to the trade node. But as for them, you will not be pillaged. No need to force religion, that's a heck of a thing. Just reparations and money will be enough. Get in there. No pillaging. Since wants out, no pillaging. Just money. Reparations, reparations, reparations. I'm gonna enrich this country coming out of that war. With the Caramanese Navy here, we can start a land campaign through there. 1 second. I know what Nuremberg is going to be asking, and I'm not going to abide that request. What did I tell you? Just give me more war reparations. Reparations, reparations, reparations. Saving that aggressive expansion for the gains of there and there. Doubt about this one. I know we won't fully annex that country because, oh, the whole of Europe will be mad at me. And they'll form coalitions against me and all that. And the HRE Emperor will also be mad, which I ain't gonna give them anything in return. Württemberg. God's sakes. Oh, so that's what that does. Okay. Keep that well in mind. Napoli is fallen. Doors open. Set them loose. While we're making Croatia to a territorial island of sorts. Oh, there I suppose. I'm in Malta. Which the name Malta is retained. Since there's no Serbo-Croatian name for Malta. Still on the way, be patient. Let's help out here. Constance. Same as everyone else. But the war score is about to be 99%, which will get everything what we want. We'll hear a little more from them. If Two Sicilies wants out, then I don't know about wanting these territories, but I know what I'm going to use. In the meantime. There goes the old admiral. This one's going after him, and here comes a single galley, which the transports will devastate him. Left a few holes in this. Alright, we're gonna go kill their fleet. On our way. We have no admiral, he just died. They got out of there quickly. War score is 99. You may want to stop that right now. But I know what I'm going to do. It's just a separate piece of Two Sicilies real quick. As we did enough damage to them. While we're still working on coring Malta, which seems like an interesting proposition what we did. But again, our route to Africa. Yeah. Interesting idea. Even though we have no trade power in Tunis, but establishing nearby presence there, and try to add up a little. Does go over there. Everything's so ahead of time now. definitely go get a merchant. As you keep spending the... Whoa, hold on there. Just this once. Give me an admiral. Yeah, it'll do. Most of them are low morale anyhow. We captured 3 of their ships. But I don't need more transports. I'll have them disband. But he's level-headed. I guess he is just what we need. One of you, get moving. You, get in there. Just to send you home, as the war is practically over at this point. Beginning our withdrawal. This was by far Croatia's deadliest war in a long time. This place is about to go. Although I really kind of want to expand to here, just to say we establish our presence in this part of Italy in addition to there. But who's going to dare us to attack us, you know, coalition-wise? We basically just show the world of what we're capable of, especially with a navy that we own. Come on, fall. Okay. It's curtains for them. Capture 2 more transports. Yep, that's it for them. Come on home, Corfu, to make repairs. Bring him back over here. Oh, really? He just died. A premature election. Okay, so, but again, it'll still be a diplomatic candidate. From Amos Mihailovic to Amos Draskovic. Another Amos. Well, to be fair, he was in his 40s. And here's a man at a reasonable age. And that's another benefit of being a republic. No stability drop when he just died prematurely like that. Rather than, you know, the old one just be, you know, retired and all that. And as I said, would you please get off my island now? Indulgent trade efficiency. God damn it. Time to go. No country for old generals. In fact, if you recall, most of them are youths. I mean, nobody in their 40s. Sorry, God. Drop them off. And with the war now over, let's see what kind of gains we can make. So again, it's for Verona, Ferrara, no coalition. Okay, there's a coalition here. Two Sicilies. Okay. Papal States, Austria, Salzburg, but you know, I wish that we could transfer Venetian trade power. Otherwise, we would steer it. Or alternatively make Venice a Croatian vassal, which is probably highly unlikely because, you know... Hey, at least it's at a reasonable price. I will have to spend the diplomatic power, which I would wish that, you know, that... I mean, I also would wish to release this nation back. And I could care less about the cores that you have on me, knowing that you can't be doing it. But is it really important to be going over there? Because, quite honestly, let's do a separate piece first. What do you suggest? Well, there's that. And annul all treaties. And be willing to give away all this land that I have legitimate claims to. Yes. There's a way of establishing the presence and adding more to the, you know, all that. But, however, the annul all treaties with France, yes, that's a good one. And you will cede these lands. Aggressive expansion. Land ownership up for everybody. I'm going to regret this. One day later. Again, just these two. Then that's all the territories I wanted. No need to pillage you, otherwise they're going to be even more mad. But I fear Spain and France, otherwise we'll be in for another hell of a war. But I did want to see Mantua to be returned. And Bologna, in fact, greatly reduce Venice to a single. Yeah. But of course, that would mean... Damn it! I didn't realize it. Because I'd still need some of that, you know, for the eventual leveling it up on the... and all that. Of course, the reparations. But we can't steer trade as much as I would like to. No need to pillage capital. That's going to make everybody else mad. And about as much money as you can have. Which I would get some. As I said, I am going to regret this in the long run. And annul all treaties with these two. It does not cost diplomatic power here, but it does give us a little more prestige to our name. Yeah. Practically. Well, you better start using those up. My goodness. You are extremely overextended. Actually, we can afford them all, but some of these areas are going to be turning to states, and you're going to be using those up again. So, I highly suggest you better get yourself an advisor. Damn. How old are you? 39. I'll take it. But that's just for getting more administrative power. So we don't have the trade efficiency right now. So you'll just be heading to the mainland. Apulia, Bari, Capitania. Oh, jeez. What the hell have we done? But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end the episode on that note, as we'll be coring all these lands. there's going to be some real instability, if any, at all. But most importantly, we took the areas that we really wanted that will enrich us in the long run. Including one star fort. And we'll see if any coalition is willing. The coalition of a willing, I should say, that they would fight against us. Croatia has made big gains again, and we've established a presence of an island in the middle of the Mediterranean as a gateway to Northern Africa, as a next potential place to expand and to finally stop that pirate threat once and for all. But until then, so long for now.